YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Swerve with EDG Acoustics. This is a little recap of our last video. Today we're going to be hanging up the clouds and finishing the fabric. Yes sir, so they got a total of 4 panels, 4 star clouds to make one big one. I think each of those are about a 4x4, so you know, I mean, you can imagine it's pretty big. How we did it was I measured out all the holes. I made the holes as you saw last video and then you saw in the beginning of this video. And instead of hanging them up one by one, because a lot of the times the middle isn't supported or we have to figure out a way to support the middle, we connected 2 of them together and we hung 2 at a time. So you saw 2 of them were already put up and then we just put up these last 2 right here. And now you see we just testing it with the lights off and it's looking great. So you can also see that the fiber optics are pretty long right now. That's just because we haven't cut them, but we're just testing them to make sure the mechanisms and the lights are working. And here we go, here are the lights. We unfortunately didn't record a lot of us putting in the lights or the tracks because it was very technical and it was a lot of trial and error. So a lot of the video that we did record was just us cutting pieces and trying different things in order to make the shapes right. But this is how it came out. And also we'll have another video coming up where we do the lights specifically and show you how we connect them and how we make them come together. And now you can see how the clouds look with the fiber optics cut. This is the look that you guys know and love. We went ahead and cut them, put the lights in the tracks, and next we're gonna go ahead and insulate everything and start putting up the fabric. So here we go, we putting up this first section of fabric. We planned it out, we measured everything out, and you know, we like to cut the fabric as we go, just because we don't want to waste anything. We don't want to have any miscuts or mismeasurements and then be stuck with a piece of fabric that we can't use for somewhere else or for the specific place that we cut it for. So we like to cut it as we go. This is the very first section, and this is also, you know, a lot of the times we do test sections, like just to test it out, see how it'll come out. So I think that's what we were going for this first one, but once we do this one, we get it moving along and we get it rolling pretty fast. So you can see right there, I'm locking in the tracks. So what we usually do is we'll cut them and put them in the exact spot that they'll be in. And we'll just maybe tack it in with one staple or one screw just to get, you know, make sure that the cuts are right and also to make sure we have enough tracks. So we'll just notch it in for, you know, temporary, but it's not like how it needs to be once we start putting the fabric in, because the fabric will start pulling the tracks, and if it's not secured, then it'll just look really crazy. It won't look good at all. And this specific job was actually really dope because up until this point, you know, we do a lot of the lights and we do a lot of LEDs and star clouds, but this was one of the first clients that came to us, and our original plan, and I don't, you know, the back wall right there, you see how there's a line just going straight in the middle. We've done that plenty of times, and we can, you know, put it at top or bottom, but the client, I think we were getting to the point where we're gonna start putting the lights in, and he came up to us and he said, hey, I think he saw something on Instagram or whatever it is, and he was like, yo, can you guys do this? and he showed us a picture of these arrows, and our first reaction was like, of course. And you know, we can do anything. That's what EDG Acoustics do. We try to make everyone's vision come true when it comes to the acoustics and when it comes to the aesthetics. So as you can see, we just doing another section. We just trying to go around the room in order, just so we don't, you know, if we start one area and we go to another, it gets kind of convoluted. So we try to stay, you know, going in order. You can see I'm putting in the insulation, and you've seen me cut tracks in other videos, but these specific angles and the way we had to place them, we really had to be creative with how we did the tracking. Not only did we want it to match up with the lights, but we wanted to make them in sections to where we could just cut one piece of fabric and it'll go, you know, it'll go over that whole section. So that whole area right there where I have the yellow insulation, I'm installing it. That's gonna be one section. So that was our goal, was to not only do the lights, but make it easy for us to install the fabric when it's time to put it on. So like I said, we do sections in order to like conserve fabric, and also when we're doing crazy designs like this, we want to make it as easy as possible for us, so it doesn't take a lot of time and we don't waste fabric. So I just measured out how long the fabric needs to be, we cut it, and that one piece of fabric right there will cover that whole section. A lot of the times in our other videos, you can see us, you know, my dad, he'll be knocking out a piece of fabric and I'll be putting up, you know, tracks, or I'll be knocking out another piece of fabric. In this specific job, it was way more beneficial for us to both tag team on the same areas at once, because it was so technical. So if there was anything that I could stretch out for him or I could pull at the same time, it was real helpful. So that's why you see us both working on one section at a time. Here we go. So we just knocked out those first two sections. We got the one you just saw us installing, and then we just did one more. This is just another view of it. This is another angle on how it looks with the lights off, and how it's gonna look with the arrows, and how, you know, it looks pretty dope so far. So we're gonna go ahead and continue to knock it out. Here we go. We got a couple of these details I wanted to get close-ups of how we're actually stuffing the fabric. We know that it's a little time lapse, but it's very detailed and intricate. So when we can show details we like to, I just go ahead and I picked up the camera and showed against the wall where my dad's stuffing in this last little bit of fabric. You can see the top isn't finished, but look at those angles, man. It's beautiful. Look at those angles, those cuts. See, all of that is the very detailed fabric mates. If you can get the angles right and you can cut the tracks, the fabric is gonna come out like that every time. So it looks like we finished the top sections. We did those first two black sections, and then we did the rest of the three gray ones up top. Now we're moving on to the bottom. And like I said earlier, most of the time we try to like tag team it or when it's super technical like this, but I think that these panels were small enough and the angles weren't as crazy, so we felt comfortable knocking them out separately. So you saw we got the fabric up there for both of them, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this middle one while my dad finishes that last one. There we go, EDG. That's one wall down. We got all the arrows covered up. We got all the sections covered, and it's looking real nice. That's our first wall. Just wanted to show you guys a close-up of it with the lights off. And sorry about the glare. Not sure what's going on right there, but I mean, I don't even notice it because it looks so good. And we got the star clouds, and it's dope. And right here you can see I'm like I said, I'm securing in the tracks because we just have them up there, I think maybe with a screw or maybe just one staple. I just secured the section that I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna put the insulation in, and my dad's gonna come right there and finish up the fabric. So just like with the tracks and just like with the fabric, the insulation, we want to make sure we minimize as much waste as we can. You can see in the top areas, like once I use the bigger pieces, I'll try to put in some of the smaller pieces that are on the floor right there, but we try not to use that because they easily fall out. So when we're putting in fabric, they can fall behind the fabric and it'll be, you know, sticking out, or, you know, so we use bigger pieces, but we also just try not to waste anything. And here we go. So we got the finished room. We didn't get the back or front walls because they were super easy squares, but this is the finished look, man. We got all the fabric on the walls. We got the star cloud up there, and we also have the lights just working and they're looking crazy. The client came up to us and he was, you know, super happy, super glad that he went ahead and picked that design, and it's looking good. This is a little preview of our next video. This is their third room. So they got 2 walls of fabric mates. So 2 walls is fully covered in fabric, and then 2 walls with panels, and then another star cloud, and that'll be for our next video. I just want to say thank you guys. We really appreciate all the support. Please like and comment on all of our videos, and, you know, just help the channel grow so we can go ahead and keep pumping this out for you guys.